got you started in your fitness journey and inspired you to open your studio?
So growing up, I was a dancer from the time I was 2.5 until around 11. I was like on the dance team. I was at the dance studio like 4 days a week for multiple hours, ballet, tap, jazz, hip hop, all the things. And then middle school and high school, I got really into color guard. In the Central Valley. I grew up in Merced. And we were like really competitive. We were winning like sweepstakes, and it was a really fun time. It was really competitive, and I liked it a lot. And then when I graduated high school, there was no more color guard, so I found cardio kickboxing through this family that I nannied for, and the mom invited me to go to a class, and I was like, this is amazing, which cardio kickboxing is basically like dancing, but like mixed with martial arts. So think Zumba, but with punches and kicks. And I was like, this is my thing. And got married, had a baby, did all the life stuff, didn't do cardio kickboxing, nothing for like 6 years. Then when we moved to Lompoc, I was looking for like to get back into kickboxing again, and there was nothing available. So the end of 2019, beginning of 2020, I began to start reaching out, taught a few classes at the park with Mom's Club, and then the whole world shut down, as we know. I'm not going to bring up all that drama. So I started teaching Zoom classes, and it was just boot camp in the beginning, just like 30-minute lunges, squats, like perfect for someone just to do at home. And then I was like, I miss cardio kickboxing so much. It's been so long, but like I feel like I can do it again. So on one of my Zoom classes, I was like, we're not doing boot camp today. We're doing cardio kickboxing. Like just go with it. And everyone loved it. So the world started opening up again, and I was teaching twice a week at Kempo Karate. They're right behind El Toro Bronco. So I was using their place when they weren't having classes and nobody was showing up. Maybe one person, maybe two people. Most days nobody would show up. And I was like, man, like I think it's the location. I think it's because it's not a girly place. Like this is a very manly place. So I was like, I'm just going to open up my own place. There's no place in Lompoc. Like all the gyms shut down last year because we lost In Shape, we lost all the big gyms. And so I just went for it. I had a vision to create a space where women can get together, feel girly, but also feel badass.
So what are some of the largest challenges that you had at your original studio?
At the original place, we were located at 116 North H Street, which is in the Lompoc Theater building. The biggest challenge I think there was that it was just one straight building. So our studio floor with kickboxing, you wear mats, or we have mats, so you don't wear shoes. Everything is barefoot. And our biggest problem was that in order to get from one side of the studio to the other side, you had to walk across the mat and like take off your shoes. We didn't have too much space for people to linger around, which was something that I really wanted to encompass. I wanted to create a community. And if somebody just comes to a class and then has to leave right after, there's not really time to sit around and chit chat. So that was kind of my biggest thing. And it was very small in there, but I was comfortable in the beginning with it being small because
How long were you open at your old location?
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Hmm.
And what inspired you to take the leap of faith? Because it's so easy to stay in one place and stay cozy and small.
Yeah.
And then it's always a new venture when you go to a bigger location, because I'm sure your expenses increase.
Hmm.
And
Yeah. So my rent over there was already like slowly increasing, slowly increasing. And I already knew that I was looking to move. And I had been like looking at different spaces, and the prices just weren't right, or the layout just wasn't right, or the location just wasn't right. And after I renewed my lease for the second time, I was like, I'm not going to renew it. I'm going to go month to month.
Mhm.
If what happens, happens. I was so burnt out that I was like so close to closing. And I'm so glad I pushed through it because I feel like when you're that close to giving up, like I was telling people that we're going to close next month, and just a few select people, but I was like, yeah, like I I can't anymore. Like I'm so burnt out. Like I miss my kids. Like I don't get to spend time with my husband and like we're not growing. Um, and so when I went to month, it was kind of like I'm either going to close or I'm going to move. And luckily, I'm somebody who's like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like I don't try to force anything. I feel like when you force something, it just it's not how it's supposed to be, if that makes sense. Like I'm more like good things will come my way. If an opportunity presents itself and I don't take it, like that's when I'm messing up. And I saw that this building that we are in now is Sweet Beginnings. I saw that they were selling their items and I reached out to Alex and I was like, "Are you moving? Like what is your space?" And she was like, "Well, how much space do you need?" Like asking me these really weird questions and I was like, "Why is she asking me these questions?" She's like, "I have an idea." So, I still want to keep like this is a big building. There's multiple rooms. I was going to downsize and just get a top shed in my backyard. How about I take the back room, you take these first three, we'll share the space. It's just my workshop and storage area. What do you think? And she dropped the price and or not dropped the price, but she told me what the price was and we talked to the landlord and he was like, yeah, let's do it. And it was just one of those things that just kind of like organically happened. And I mean, I initiated it and we initiated it together, but it was just something that flowed so naturally and there wasn't any icky feelings and it was time. So I was like, I'm not going to close. Like, this is my sign that I need to push, excuse me, this is my time that I need to push forward. And like, this is the world telling me, like, you need to grow, like, like, refresh things, get bigger. So,
So for people that are looking to join your studio,
mhm.
how would they join and like what can they expect out of their first class?
So the easiest way to join is to go to our website, awakencardiokickboxing.com. There are little buttons on there. One says like drop in, sign up for a membership, or view our calendar. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. We are also on Instagram, awaken_lompoc. Any DM that you send or comment, you're going to be talking directly to me, and we can get you started from there. For your first class, depending on what it is, most people come here for kickboxing. All you need is comfortable clothes, clothes that you can jump around in. So girls wear something supportive. Expect to be barefoot or in socks with grip on the bottom so that you don't slip. And we have gloves for you to borrow, but if you have your own gloves, you can bring them. And we also have some here for sale. Everyone here is so friendly. We'll kind of introduce you like, hey, this is so-and-so, welcome, this is their first class. And everyone will be, hi, 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 make conversation. And we'll get you set up on a bag. I'll go through all the punches and kicks with you. And yeah, you just kind of go at your own pace. The best thing about kickboxing and our classes in general are that everything is modifiable. We have our youngest client right now, or member, is I think she just turned 16. She's 15 or just turned 16. And then our oldest is 73. We have women who are coming in their 50s, have never worked out ever in their life. We have girls who are like 7 months pregnant. We have girls who are like newly postpartum. Everything is modifiable. We also encourage women to really listen to our bodies. That mind to body connection is so important. When we push through things, when our body is telling us like, ouch, this hurts my knee, like lunges hurt me, and we're like, do it anyway, we're cutting off that connection. So we really encourage women to listen to their bodies. If you are, I don't know, you're on your period and you're tired, sometimes your body just needs a little bit of a rest. And to know when to push and when to hold it back is really important. So there's modifications for everything. We encourage you to listen to your body, and yeah, it's all fitness levels. Every woman is welcome here. So,
And then I know that you have, I've seen you mentioning on your Instagram about your nutrition. How do you incorporate that into your clients or your business?
so for me, I approach nutrition with a very holistic approach. So it's not like a one size fits all for everybody. It's not a cookie cutter, like you need to eat this at breakfast, this at lunch, this at dinner, stick to this calories. Like it has to do with where are you at in your life? What foods do you not like to eat? Because if you're telling someone to eat salmon and rice for dinner and they hate salmon, they're not going to do it. It depends on like your financial status. Like, can you afford to shop at Whole Foods, or are you opting for more cheaper options? So for my classes, I just suggest the biggest thing I say is drink water. That's mostly what I tell everybody, and to pick foods that are going to be nutritious for their bodies. I do one-on-one nutrition, and I try my best not to preach to a class about nutrition because it's not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody needs something different, and so that's why I don't like to like just throw out information.
So they would have to come search you out if they decided that they needed help
Correct.
getting their nutrition in line.
Yeah, one-on-one is best. Yeah, especially because you have to know where their mental health is at. Do they have kids? Do they have a spouse? Do they work 9 to 5? Do they work at home? Like, all those factors really play a lot into nutrition. So,
and then other than cardio kickboxing, do you have any other classes that you offer here?
yes. So our cardio kickboxing class, we have one now per week. That's what we started with. That was our major class, and we branched out a lot. So cardio kickboxing, think like dance fitness or like Zumba, but with punches and kicks. And then we also have our strength kickboxing class, which is on the bags. We have gloves. You hit the bags. We're fitness based, so we hit bags and mitts, but we don't hit each other. So we have our strength kickboxing class, which the first half, all on the bags, lots of combos, punches, kicks. And then we do the second half of the class like a circuit. Most of the time it's a circuit. Sometimes I'll mix it up, but it's all exercises with weights that will help you with your kickboxing. Then we have our HIIT kickboxing class, HIIT, high intensity interval training. And that one's great for beginners because it's a little bit slower pace and it's only 20-second intervals. So we'll have one side, we'll be punching the bags, and the other side will be doing either like a plyometric exercise, something with weights or other resistance. And then we'll switch every 20 seconds, kind of Tabata style. And then we have yoga. We have our strength yoga class. We have a hot girl yoga class, which is hot yoga. And we have our program classes. So our program classes are every month. So every Tuesday is lower body. It's the same program for the whole month. So we work on like progressive overload. So for example, if you're doing squats with 10 pounds, next week try 15. The week after that, try 20. So Tuesdays is lower body, Wednesdays is core, Thursdays is upper body, and then Mondays and Fridays we have a boot camp. We also have a mobility class on Mondays. It's kind of like stretching, but kind of like yoga, but also working on our strength while we're lengthening. So we have a lot of different options.
And then what are the price points for each membership with you?
So our membership, unlimited, so you can take up to 2 classes per day, every day that we're open if you'd like, is $160 per month. And then we have our class packs. It's 10 classes for $180, and you can use both the class packs and the memberships for any class that you like. It's not only kickboxing or only boot camp. It's for any class that you like, and that just expires after 6 months. So you have 6 months to use those 10 classes. Moving was so seamless. We had our studio closed for 3 days that would have been open. So we moved right before the 4th of July. So the 4th and 5th, we would have been closed anyway, and we're closed on Sundays. So it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So we only had to close for those 3 days. And I put it on our schedule as a workout. So, and I had like 2 big chunks of time. So I had like 20 girls on the first day. So I had like half of them helping me pack stuff and put stuff on a trailer. The other half was here already starting to move. It was great. We got everything done, like out of the old place into the new place all in one day. We got everything in here ready to go in 3 days. So having the community aspect is really important, because there's no way that I could have done it by myself. So having that help was like, I mean, there is a boundary, but when people walk in, it's like I am truly grateful that they're here, but also making them feel welcome, asking about their day, not just work out and then they leave. It's like, oh my gosh, how old is your kid? Oh my gosh, like, I don't know, that shirt looks good on you, or like, you look stressed. What happened today? And just girls will talk. If you ask them the right questions, like they'll start to talk, and you really get to know your clients like as time goes on. We have we have a group, and it's 3 generations. So it's, I'm gonna say, like, I guess grandma, mom, and daughter, and they all come, and there's like cousins that all come, and they all come all together, and it feels like you're part of a family. And our classes are pretty small, so when someone's gone, we notice. And I feel like because our classes are small, you have time to talk to each other, and you see the same faces at the same time, and everyone just really starts to get to know each other. All of the girls that we have here are like, they're really good people. We don't have anyone that's like, I don't know, like girls can be kind of catty sometimes, and we haven't had any issues with that. So I'm really proud of that. And I feel like it all comes down to leadership as well. So there's a lot of pressure for instructors to lead that way.
So mentioning pressure,
Hmm.
I seen on your Instagram that you posted that you've been working 12-hour days. How are you handling like the work-life balance and like the mental stress of the studio move and owning a business?
It is so hard. It is so, so hard. Luckily, my husband has a nice schedule. He goes to work super, super early in the morning, and then he gets out around noon. So that's super helpful. The kids are in summer school right now. This is our last week. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Um, and another reason why I wanted to open up my own place and not work for somebody is because I can create my own schedule, and I can bring my kids with me if I want. Like yesterday, my daughter was just like, I want to be with you. So she just came and hung out here. And other kids, like women can bring their other kids. So I got to spend time with her, but also work. Um, Getting the studio together, when you move, there's always like that last like pile of boxes that you're just like, I need to put these little things, or like I realize I don't need this and I need to go take this to donate or sell or whatever. So that's kind of like what the 12-hour day thing is right now. And it's just like little things like on our waiver, like making sure I change the address, trying to get the address changed on Google. Like, yeah, finding balance is really hard. When we were moving, I made sure to schedule in like lunchtime. Like, I will not be here between this time and this time. Don't talk to me. I'm turning my phone off and then coming back and going hard. So,
Do you feel like your children are learning anything in particular being the child of an entrepreneur?
I hope so. My kids are 5 and 7, so I don't really know how much they're like really like learning. I'm hoping that because this is all they know from me, that it just becomes something that's very natural to them. And it's not foreign. Like I grew up knowing like, oh my gosh, like that family owns Baskin Robbins. Oh my gosh, like they're like royalty. Like they own a business in town. Oh my gosh, like I'm so, and I hope that like my kids just kind of see it as normalcy, and it's not like this big taboo thing that they can't achieve. Like that's, something that they can never do. Because that's kind of what I was told, or not told, but like, oh, they must be lucky they own Baskin Robbins. Oh, they must be this, like not, you know what I'm trying to say? Like a normal person can also be an entrepreneur. It's not like this untouchable. I kind of went through one of those realizations because I was a stay-at-home mom for a while after I had my daughter. So for like 4 years, I'm like trying to think. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was like, what's going to happen if I like need to get a job, or like if for some reason I need to financially like support myself? Like, what am I going to do? Like, my kids are little. Who's going to watch them? Because we don't have family here. It's just me and my husband. And I had already started playing around with, the Zoom classes and things. And I was like, I need to be able to create my own schedule to be there for these kids because I want to be able to go on field trips. I want to be able to watch their games or take them to dance or whatever sport they choose to do. And I also need to be able to bring them with me. Like, how can I make this happen? And that was like the biggest thing that really, really pushed me. Yeah.
If you could go back and do time over,
Mm-hmm.
would you have started earlier? Would you have started later? Or would you have done it at all?
I feel like the way that I did it was perfect, because it was coming out of 2020 when people are finally starting to creep out of their houses. The gym closed. There wasn't really any like competition, if that makes sense. I'm all about collaboration over competition, but not having any competition really helps. So it was like I everything, like I said, I'm somebody who's like, if it falls into place, that's the way that it's supposed to be. And I truly feel like I did it the right way. I was ready, people were ready, and it was just something that happened.
And it sounds like you're not from a family of entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Was that really scary for you?
It was, because it was so foreign. Like I said, it was, if you own a business or work for yourself, like that was like the highest thing, kind of. I grew up with a single mom who was working multiple jobs at one time, all the time. So I just knew the grind. So yeah, it was scary. I had no idea. I didn't know about taxes. I'm still like terrified that one day police are going to show up and take me away because I did something wrong. But I'm pretty confident now. But having the mentorship through Weave was so helpful. We like met up, I think it was like every 2 weeks, and we would go over profit and loss and like checking boxes and things like that. But finances were like the scariest thing because, like I said, I had no idea. I didn't know about applications. I didn't know about loans. I didn't know about profit and loss. I didn't. If you told me that 5 years ago, I'd been like, what? So it was a huge learning curve. But
And what brought you to Lompoc from Merced?
my husband works for the prison,
Mm.
so that's what brought us here. Yeah.
And how have you enjoyed creating a community here?
I like it. I like small towns. Small towns are both good and bad. It's seemingly limited for growth if you look at it that way, but then it's also abundant because there's such a community. So once you become more tight knit, you realize the more support that you have. We came from a small-ish town. Lompoc is smaller. But yeah, it's both. It's kind of one of those things too, where if you piss the wrong person off, word travels fast. So, but I really, most common thing is people will walk in and they're just like, and you can tell either they had a rough day with their kids, they had a rough day at work, or they just really need to hit something. So I can read a room, and the whole how women sync up.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. It's true. I'll be like, who's on their period today? And like so many people will raise their hand. I'm like, all right, it's a hard hit day. Like, let's go. Everyone's PMSing. Like, let's turn up the beat. And or I can tell when everyone's super sluggish. And then we just take it a little bit slower. And I feel like that's like the biggest thing is being able to read a room. Like if everyone's sluggish and you're like, go, 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 like that's going to make people feel so crappy because they're like, I can't go, go, go. Like I am dead, or like I'm so stressed I want to hit something. And you're like, today we're going easy. And they're like, I need to get this out. Like, so I guess that's the way. And being able to read people's emotions and like their facial expressions when they come in, and just making sure that you turn it around before they leave. That's the biggest thing. I'm Bridgette with Awaken Cardio Kickboxing. We're located at 113 West Ocean Avenue in Lompoc, California. We recently just moved into a bigger and better space. You can find us at awakencardiokickboxing.com or on Instagram at awaken_Lompoc.